plot twist for you. So I was a little bit bummed that time kind of forced our hand at burning all of those trees. Not all of them, most of those trees in the fire. But we've got to move on. We've got to get this done. So that's a little bit of a bummer. We burned on a Saturday because there was zero chance of rain between Saturday and Wednesday. That'd give us plenty of time to keep piling the bigger stuff on those embers to keep burning over the next few days. So we burnt on a Saturday night. Sunday morning I come out here to work and to just try and push stuff onto the pile. And we were out here for 15-20 minutes and the bottom falls out. It starts raining buckets. There's not a cloud around us except above us. It just pops up out of nowhere and just pours, just downpours for like a solid hour. Fire's completely out. All of the hot embers to keep the fire going, completely out. All of the logs, the majority of the logs, just have charred bark and the inside is still good. So call it a blessing in disguise, I guess. So that means what I've been doing for the past few days, several days, is basically been picking up a war zone. All these logs are still attached to the root ball, so I'm trying to cut the root ball off, trying to move the logs around with the tractor. Most of them in their full state are too heavy for the front end loader of my tractor, front loader of my tractor. So cut, move, pile, cut, move, pile, cut, move, pile, and then take the smaller stuff that we're cutting off, piling it up and starting new fires. And it's just been a process. Blessing in disguise, maybe? But we've got a tremendous amount of logs that are still good on the inside. They just look like they've been through a forest fire, which is still usable material. So what I've been doing is piling a little bit up here and there for me. I've got so much to go through that it's just kind of wasteful sitting there, and then piling a bunch up for a friend of mine to take to the sawmill. So yeah, we end up using all these logs, the majority of them anyway. They're a little bit charred, everything's a little bit dirty, but we're still using them. Way easier to skid these out of here, cut the root ball off and skid them out, not with the tractor but with the truck. 8,000 pounds of 6.7 liter diesel power, four-wheel drive low with the rear end locked, and putting it in first gear. So if you put one of these in 4 low, it automatically goes to second gear to start out. I guess because the gear ratio is so low. In first gear you have a hard time stopping with the brakes, so you don't want to fry your brakes obviously. But in a situation like this where I'm pulling a log out, 4-wheel drive low, first gear, everything locked, and it just crawls. So this is just a completely stock truck, and it's pretty cool to pull these out. Yeah, RPMs don't even hit 1,000 RPM pulling these out. So I've got a chain on the log. That chain goes through here, and then this is connected to 2 safety chains from an old trailer that I have connected to the hitch. So we're distributing the load on 2 attachment points, and to be honest with you, it's not that much of a load anyway. A much smaller truck should be able to pull this out. It's just sliding along the length, and that's our greatest resistance right there, digging in the dirt. But getting these out so I can skid them, getting these out so I can cut them into logs to go to the sawmill is much easier than cutting them into logs up there and trying to extract them. Yesterday the heat got me. I was out there too long in it and got a little dehydrated. So today I'm starting, what is it? It's 5:34 right now in the morning, and the sun's not up. We've got first light already, but the sun's not up yet. So I'm getting a head start on things. And I'd love to say that I'm all chipper and had a bunch of coffee and everything's great, but I am dog tired. As soon as I get moving, everything will be okay though. So this has been my view for the past several days, moving stuff out of the way. I've got a pile of trees over there that need to be chopped into logs, pile of root balls over there that are big enough for me to pick up and drop down, or small enough for that, and still piles of stuff that need to be cleared. My wife's over there running a smaller, or getting another smaller burn pile going to get rid of small brush. More logs over here. More trees to be cut into logs, staging over there and over there. And then actually on the other side of the burn pile is a set of logs that I'm going to keep. More logs that are going to go to the sawmill. It's just been a hot mess out here. Keyword is mess. So yeah, all of these logs are not going to waste, which is what I thought was going to be the decision based upon time. They're actually going to the sawmill, so that'll be good. You might be able to tell in my demeanor right now, but I'm exhausted. This is the first time during this whole process where I'm like, I'm just exhausted. So gotta get more rest. Well, no, I went to bed at 10 o'clock last night and woke up at 9 o'clock this morning. So it's not a matter of rest. It's a matter of nutrition. We're in that camper in the meantime, which means we don't really have a large refrigerator, so we have to go get groceries much more frequently, which means we can't stock up like we used to, which means we're way more inclined to get a convenience meal here and there. And that's catching up with me. I've been eating like crap and I'm feeling it. One thing I want to do today is get a ladder up into these trees and pull the files off the trail cameras and see how they've been turning out. I'm walking through these trees to go to the ladder number 2, because ladder number 1 was over there behind me, and I I needed to move it to the other side of the clearing. So I was like, well, I'm on the tractor, I'm feeling lazy, I'll just use the grapple to grab the ladder and take it to the other side, which is no problem. I laid the ladder down on its side, you know, sitting up so I can just barely pinch it with the grapple and move it, no big deal. And then I do what I'm doing now. I went through these trees behind me, and apparently there are 2 trees that are less than 10 feet apart from one another. And I don't know if I spaced out or whatever, but I just drove right through and bent the ladder. It is no longer an extension ladder. So that was a $230 mistake for a new 10 foot, I guess 20 foot extension ladder. That kind of sucks. But yeah, I've had a few. Oh, you want me to tell you something else that sucks? I bent the hydraulic cylinder on the curl, go away bug, on the curl part of the loader on my tractor. And I believe that was from, I didn't see it exactly when it happened, but I think it's from moving one of these root balls, and it rolled back at me and plowed into the front of the grapple when I was trying to roll the root ball. So that's another expensive fix. I have no idea how much that's going to cost, but I got to get that done soon so I can use the tractor again. Yeah, I am completely out of it. I walked over to the ladder to show you the ladder that I screwed up, and then just walked away from the ladder. So there you go. There's a $230 ouchie. I might be able to straighten this one up. I'm still going to use it though. Here's kind of a better view of what's going on. It's getting there. It's getting there. We worked a ton out here. It's just messy and so much to do. So the shop pad is going to go right here. So I really don't need to get 100% of that gone. If I go another 30 or so feet, 20, 30 feet, somewhere right around there, that should be enough room right here for the pad to get started. And I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can before I get him out here, because it's a catch-22, right? My biggest asset right now is time, not money. However, we're behind schedule, so I do have a bunch of time, but we're at a time crunch, if that makes sense. So I've been pushing the root balls over to there. That's root ball graveyard number 1. That got full, so I cut another patch right into there. That's root ball graveyard number 2. We've got piles of dirt and organic matter here to be burnt, and then just pushed around, to be honest with you. So I'm hoping, today is Saturday when I'm recording this. Next Wednesday, I think, is the break in the rain. It's rain every single day. So next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday should be dry enough up here for him to scrape off, because what he has to do, he said, is scrape down about 2 feet and push that material to the sides around it, and then backfill with some harder red clay. That's what they do here typically in Mississippi. You know, I grew up in Michigan where basically everybody has a basement. Well, around here it's not economically feasible to go so far down to create a basement, because our frost line is only like 8 inches below grade, something like that. It's nothing, right? People in northern climates are probably laughing. But so what they do is they basically scrape off all the organic matter, and then they put a nice thick layer of red clay, and let that settle and compact for 4 weeks or so. And then you just pour a slab on top of it, which is like a 4-inch thick slab, I think like 8-inch or 16-inch footers all the way around it, something like that. It's very shallow, all things considered, but that's standard around here. It's just a small slab. So it's gonna go right here. Let's see how the batteries are doing. Battery's still showing full, so that's good. Oh, of course I dropped it. Still rocking the old Dell Latitude brick that I bought used in 2016. This has been a reliable laptop for me, we'll say. Not super fast, but reliable. Something that I've realized and kind of confirmed while looking at the photos on this camera is that when it rains, like this clearing right here doesn't really hold the water. It's like a sandy, I don't know if it's sandy loam. I think that's what it is. Some type of sandy soil that we have, and it doesn't really hold water at all. It drains it out pretty quick. The problem with getting back here is our driveway. Our driveway is just mud. So we need to get gravel on it. Well, we can't get gravel on it until we run our electricity and our water through it, because that's the only path back here is through the driveway ditches basically, and then of course through the center part of the driveway here and there. So we can't do gravel until we do electricity and water. We can't do electricity and water until we get the pad done, because that'll determine where the electricity finalizes at. So it's like, it's an order of operations thing, keeping our driveway gooey. And that's what's really keeping us from coming out here after it rains. It really just needs like 12 hours or so after rain for the water on the driveway to kind of get away from it, to where you're hitting the hard stuff below the tacky, muddy stuff on top. And most of the time, it'll rain through the night. So then you wake up and you're like, okay, maybe around 12 or 1 o'clock-ish, I'll be able to get out there to the property. And then 11 o'clock, it just rains for 10 minutes for no reason, just to make you upset. Anyway. Oh, it's giving me a countdown. I guess I gotta shut this for that next picture to take. Let me get out of the way. From what I could tell on my laptop, it looks like those files are pretty cool. The pictures are pretty cool. Seeing the progress anyway. I have it set to 1 picture every half hour, and my goal is to get, like, you know, 2 years worth of footage with these 2 camera locations. But I'm beginning to wonder if I should change that to 1 picture every 15 minutes. I don't think nowadays anyway, file storage is not the issue anymore. It's just battery life. And after a couple weeks, we have full battery life on those cameras. So yeah, I may do that, which means I gotta go back to the first camera that I just left. Oh well. So here's where I messed up the first ladder. This is a nice smooth path. So I took this because it's less bumpy. There's no trees over there. I should have went over there. Dum Jay. Would have been smarter, Jay. I'm waiting on the last of the files to transfer, and I just got word that another truck and trailer are on its way to get some more logs, which is fine, except for the fact that my hydraulic cylinder is busted on the curl, left side curl motion of the bucket. It's bent. It's not leaking fluid, so I think I'm just gonna keep using it. I know if I take it off right now, I could probably get a new ram. I think that's what it's called, the internal part, the piston part, the ram. I know I can get another one of them and have it rebuilt for around $100, is from what I was told. But I've got work to do, so I really need to. I really shouldn't, but I gotta use it. We'll see what happens. Like I said, the shop is going over there, so I really only have to clean up to, say, right here-ish, and then I can work on this at my convenience. Shop pad over there, house pad over here, tree house up here, something like that. She's got another fire going over there. I gotta get down and get to work on the tractor. we got rained out again.